Sigma 150 to 600. We're going to mount it up on my A7 IV today and compare it to this Sony G 200 to 600. We're going to film with a Sony ZV-E10 with a Sigma 24 to 70 art lens, and we're just going to do a little comparison, and we're going to shoot. All right, guys, we're going to do a little comparison today. We've got this Sigma 150 sport lens to 600 versus the Sony G lens 200 to 600. I've had this lens right here for a while now, and I have taken some great photos and captured some wildlife, man, just stunning, stunning photos. And it has not failed me, but my granddaughter is getting into photography with me, and she wants a 600 millimeter zoom so it can be equal when we have our photo competition shoots of wildlife. Friendly family photo competition, you know. So I bought a Sony G 200 to 600, and whichever way it goes, either she'll use this lens or that lens, but we're gonna see if we can tell the difference. So there's a lot of YouTube videos out there, and a lot of people claim that the Sony lens is a little bit sharper than Sigma, but I have absolutely no complaints with the 150 to 600, and I actually almost purchased the Sigma 60 to 600 over the Sony lens, but I got a deal on the Sony lens, and I went ahead and went with Sony on that. Plus, I may upgrade my camera one day, and Sony restricts the frame rates that you get on these aftermarket lenses. Like with an A1, I may get one of those one day, and it will not shoot but 15 frames a second with these lenses, and 30 with a Sony, a native lens. So let's see. It's just a very simple test here. We got the sun out, clouds a little bit in and out. So it's not like we got great lighting, but we're gonna see what each lens does on a warning sticker I got down there by the road for some underground cables. We're gonna focus in on that, shoot a little video, and we'll see what they look like. Can you tell a difference? Is one way better than the other? Well, the Sigma's been great, so if the Sony is any better, that's just icing on the cake. If they're a tie, that's still good too. So stay tuned. Guys, can you tell the difference between a Sony 200 to 600 G and a Sigma 150 in picture quality with pretty bright sun, a little bit of cloud up there, shooting down here at the subject, lenses set up the same? Well, that's a good question. We're gonna do some screen recording, and let's see what happens, guys. Will there be a difference? Something in the field that we can see? I see YouTube videos with the little paper charts, but let's check it out right here. So we've got the Sony setup. Let me go ahead and get the screen recording on this. All right, looks like I'm recording right there. So we've got the Sony setup, 1/1000th f7, and we've got the ISO on auto. What's it bumping at? Let's see. Looks like bumping at 250. So yeah, let's roll with that. Let's shoot a shot or two with me just mashing the shutter. It jumped out. You see that? It jumped off of it and jumped to the back. Let's see if we can center it up and, all right. I want it to kind of, looks like good focus there. There's a couple of shots of me just mashing the shutter with, not trying to take out the movement. So let's put a 5-second delay in here, and we'll snap a couple of shots like that, just so that we can see it without any movement. All right. And let's flip the ZV-E10 over to movie mode. And let's see here. We're gonna have to run it up just a little bit to quieten this thing down here. Get the exposure up. So we're gonna have to run it up pretty high to get the exposure down, but let's just do a little film of that right there. Let's do a little recording with that. And I'm gonna just move it real easy on this fluid head to see what happens. And we'll just let it record right there for a second, and we'll see what happens with that. So let's change out lenses, and let's go from there. So how do you guys think this is gonna fare? You think the Sigma's gonna compete with the Sony? Just very basic test. I'm not a professional photographer, but I kind of like messing with this stuff. Let's bust this off, and let's get this one hooked up. And I'll be right back with you guys. I wonder if the Sigma will jump off of it and go to the back like the Sony did. That'll be interesting to see what happens here. So let's see here. Let's get this rigged in here. All right. That should be pretty close to the same frame, you know, pretty close there. But what I do, I want to go back, take a couple of photos without the delay in it. I've got both lenses set on one on the stabilization. Let's just snap a couple of photos. Same settings here. F1.7, you guys can see. Pop that one. And it did the same exact thing. See that, guys? It did do it. So after the first photo, I have to move it over. There we go. We got it to focus back. Okay, so let's go in here. Let's change the shoot rate to 5 seconds. Let's see what happens here. One thing that I do notice with this tripod in this Sigma lens is that when I've got it extended out, it's a little bit front heavy, and it tends to walk my fluid head. See it walking there just a little bit? Let's lock it down right there. I didn't really have that problem with the Sony. I didn't see it wanting to drift on me. But I do see that with the Sigma. It's kind of heavy out in the front end a little bit, fully extended. So let's do the video with it. Let me loosen the fluid back up, get it kind of, yeah, about right there. And let's see what happens here. Okay, so we're at -1 there. We can open it just a little bit. So it looks like the sun has went in just a little bit, but I'm gonna get it to proper exposed. I don't know how accurate that'll be, but we'll go with F14. Let's move it real slowly. I kind of got the hickey jerks there, so let me just try to move it real smooth. And then we'll just let it film for a second. What did that prove? I have no idea, but you guys be the judge. Checking out the Sony G lens 200 to 600 versus the Sigma 150 to 600. You know, what does that prove? I don't know, but hey, it's a cool test.